Origin just wants to reaction. This is the US just used a stealth bomber to sink a ship in Pacific during a massive series of maritime war games. Okay, so it's a war game called RIMPAC 2024 held earlier this month. A US Air Force B-2 Spirit stealth bomber demonstrated a new, relatively low cost but extremely effective means of engaging even large enemy warships dubbed quick sink. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that's a flex. Bombers are supposed to be like spray and pray type of way, right? Like there's a general area, that general area is no longer there. That's what bombers are supposed to do. Precisely shrinking a ship. I know the ship is gonna be big or something, but still, a B-2 bomber sinking a ship is like a flex in itself, right? I like how US's technology is going more of a precision way, right? They're trying to make one for all type of thing with the F-35 and other one as well, and they're trying to make ammunition that could be used one for all type of way as well, right? They're trying to like, what if you have one thing to do all the job, which is kind of like a next level of technology. When you everything done, when you're like powerful enough, this is the type of thing you look for, which basically was what America's doing, which is interesting, right? I mean, that gives them like way too flexibility in warfare. Even if you don't have the right tool, you have right tool, because any tool is a right tool at that point if one thing can do all jobs, right? F-35 can also like carry like nukes and things, right? You don't need a big ass interceptor type of way. F-35 can do that. I'm pretty sure that was the case. I'm pretty sure I watched a Sandboxx video on it. So this was a chance Sandboxx. He's like an expert at things like this. He knows enough people, right? He's, I don't know exactly what is he in military or what, but he knows enough people, right? Even other channels like Task and Purpose recognize that like he's in the connection, let's just say. So it's gonna be an interesting video. Let's watch it.
The U.S. Air Force just recently sank what basically amounts to a small aircraft carrier in the Pacific using the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber and an ingenious new weapon they call quick sink. Now this event, which we call a Sandboxx, was a part of RIMPAC 2024, a massive series of naval war games that seen participation from more than 25,000 military personnel hailing from 29 different nations. There were some 40 surface vessels, 3 submarines, and more than 150 aircraft all participating in these maritime war games.
I don't get this, right? There's Olympics, there are World Cups, and people are like, oh, like look at the sport. This is people's money, tax dollar at play here at the highest levels. Too many. This is too much costly, right? All these countries, this scale. Why is this not treated as Olympics something telecast? Oh, let's see what the capabilities these things have. Like which country has what capabilities, right? I mean, we always hear about it, but never televised and things like that. Why not? I mean, you are spending a lot. Maybe you'll make some money back by televising and monetizing on that. I don't know. Probably like a really insanely small fraction of it, because all this cost a lot, but still.
Which included not just one, but 2 Sandboxxes. But the main event was absolutely engaging the 890-foot, 39,000-ton former USS Tarawa. Now this amphibious assault ship was decommissioned back in 2009, and if you find yourself wondering what an amphibious assault ship is, well, in a lot of ways, it's a lot like a small aircraft carrier.
809 foot is like a long size, isn't it? I mean, of course, a bomber can sink it, right? I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
In fact, the former USS Tarawa was only a little bit smaller than France's Charles de Gaulle aircraft carrier. Now, the United States Navy and Marine Corps use these amphibious assault ships to, you guessed it, support amphibious assaults, usually by delivering landing craft and helicopters. But in more recent years, America's amphibious assault ships have started operating short takeoff, vertical landing F-35Bs as well, further blurring the lines between amphibious assault ship and aircraft carrier. Now this massive vessel used to operate with nearly
I'm guessing that's the same one that Not What You Think visited, amphibious assault one, which was an awesome video. I think Marines, this falls under Marines, right? Amphibious assault is under Marines or something. It makes sense. It's a, there's like, you can even put portable missile launchers and things like that. F-35B works perfectly there, obviously.
1,000 sailors and Marines on board. But as a part of RIMPAC 2024, it was relegated to target practice. Now, before the B-2 got a shot at it, some smaller anti-ship munitions were tested on the USS Tarawa, including an AGM-158C long-range anti-ship missile launched by a US Navy FA-18 Super Hornet. Now, the long-range anti-ship cruise missile, or LRASM, is a low observable or stealthy subsonic cruise missile designed specifically for anti-ship duties. But against a vessel the size of the USS Tarawa, the best you can really hope for is doing some damage to the flight deck. From there, an Australian destroyer, the HMAS Sydney, engaged the USS Tarawa with a naval strike missile, which carries a lot more explosive power thanks to its 880-pound high-explosive warhead. But for a ship the size of the Tarawa, that wasn't going to cut it either. And that's where the B-2, with its quick-sink munition, came in. Now, quick-sink kits are effectively maritime strike JDAMs, and if you're not familiar with JDAMs, or Joint Direct Attack Munitions, they're effectively guidance kits that you can mount on dumb bombs to turn a pretty inexpensive munition into a precision-guided piece of ordnance. In this case, that quick-sink kit was installed on a 2,000-pound Mark 84 bomb. Now, the quick-sink kit includes a GPS-assisted inertial guidance system in the tail fins, using those tails to guide the weapon to its target, as well as a new radar seeker installed on the nose to help it identify and calculate the right course toward its intended target, and finally, an infrared imaging seeker mounted on a fairing alongside the side of the bomb to not only help identify and guide the weapon toward its intended target, but to locate the ship's hull and guide the bomb directly towards the hull just below the waterline, where it detonates, offering a similar effect to a heavy torpedo launched by a submarine, making this exceedingly good at sinking even very large vessels.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why I didn't pick up at first. Yeah, this is like aircraft carrier level thing. So just any bomb wouldn't work like this, just show like it's barely doing any damage, right? So a specific made missile like that basically just like 1,000 feet long ship just like destroys in one shot. That's you know, like some epic thing, right? That's a frightening thing for the enemies, because that's not so easy. I mean, sure, like US probably has much bigger bombs than that, but you can't just willy-nilly drop anywhere. Like it has to be really surgically, you know, used like this is. So quick sink is a new missiles used to sink any ship. If it can sink aircraft carrier, it can sink any ship. Do other like China, Russia has some similar thing like that, or this is like America's first?
As the Air Force themselves said, it is very tough to ignore a weapon system that can sink a ship the size of the Tarawa with just one hit.
Yeah.
Now, this Sink X took place about 50 miles north of the Hawaiian island of Kauai, and because of the participation of some 29 different nations, all partnered with the United States for the effort, and America demonstrating its ability to use stealth bombers to sink aircraft carriers, you'd have to assume China was paying pretty close attention to this whole turn.
Yeah, it was just there, just looking through binoculars like that. Oh yeah, what are they doing? Oh, son of a, that's what was happening.
Of events.
Fisherman's ship, right? There was a Chinese fisherman's ship just basically close to that.
And what I like about this story so much isn't just getting to show you cool clips of stealth bombers and Sink X's. It's also the fact that this is a very low-cost solution to anti-ship warfare. You see, torpedoes and anti-ship missiles are incredibly expensive weapon systems. And that means in a large-scale fight, you run the real risk of losing the war of financial attrition. In other words, running out of money or industrial capacity to keep replacing your stockpile of anti-ship weapons. But systems like QuickSync allows you to take really inexpensive weapons we've had laying around since the Cold War, dumb bombs we wouldn't really use for anything else, and turn them into 21st century ship killers that can engage enemy warships from more than 15 miles out after being dropped by a stealth bomber. And that is one heck of a bargain.
Yeah, that is some flex, not gonna lie. It's cheaper, obviously. That's gonna. I mean, look, torpedoes can miss because it's torpedo, right? This is like a, like a missile coming from air from a B-2 bomber, which is like stealthy as stealthy can get. Not to mention they're making B-21, which is even better. Northrop is making that, right? So these are insanely stealthier things, right? Even stealthier than F-22s and things, I'm pretty sure, right? So because it doesn't have like back wing, and basically it's just flat thing, right? So it's really stealthy. So it basically can destroying like some aircraft carrier is insanely powerful. Imagine if war happens between China and US for Taiwan. Simple B-2 or B-21s, if they're ready, can just like sink their ships left and right, their biggest naval force left and right. And they were like, where is that coming from? The ship is already destroyed, and B-2 is like already making, running away before they even process where it came from, right? And it just like can happen in sequence, one after another, if it's like proper targeted, mission, let's just say it, right? There are like 10 ships here that we need to sink. Send 10 B-2 bombers at once, destroy everything, and just make your escape before anybody can process anything. That's a power move. Right, well, if you like my channel, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.